Well, man, we've got a fun project coming up. Boat remodel time the hillbilly fishing way. Let's go. We bought a boat a couple months ago, and the boat's in really good condition, but it's an older boat. It's got a great motor, actually a new motor on it, and the boat itself is in good conditions, but it's time to replace some things. Not only a little outdated, but the carpet's a little wore, and some of the other things just need a little upkeep. So we fished out of it a couple times. Our plan was to fish in it throughout the season and make changes at the end of the season once we really learned a lot about what we wanted to change. Bad weather set in. It's been snowing and raining, and then getting hot and snowing and raining, and all that within just 3 weeks. So we decided, hey, let's take this week of nasty weather and let's knock this boat out. We're going to replace some of the flooring, some of the electronics. We've got some brackets to add on, and everything's in. So we're going to get started on this boat and show you the big unveil. We're going to do a walkthrough in the end. So if you're thinking about doing a remodel of your boat, maybe watch this video and get a little more confident on it, learn some things. And if you're just here for the entertainment, hey, there's a lot of hard work is about to happen. Let's go. I think I got it just in time.
Whoa. Somebody's belly is upset this morning.
Man, oh man, didn't it turn out to be a pretty boat? I'm pretty excited about it. Let's do a walkthrough. I want to show you some of the changes that we've made over the last couple weeks to the boat, other than just the cosmetics, other than just some colors and stickers, because we got some real cool products that I want to share with you. I think could help your fishing experience. So I'm gonna start at the front of the boat and we're just gonna work our way to the back. First off, I've not even had a chance to use this in the water yet, so I'm not gonna lie and say like it's the best one ever. But prior we had a Minn Kota Tarova on here. and all of a sudden it just quit working after our last fishing trip, or during our last fishing trip. We dropped it in the water, no power to the foot controller. Thought it was the foot controller. Got doing a little research and was getting no power from the control board. It was getting it to it, but not from it. So ordered a new control board, no bueno. So I'm not really sure what the problem was with the Terova, and instead of spending valuable time that could be spent on the water and a lot more money chasing down a problem, I decided to go with the power drive. Bought this from Bass Pro Shops, right around $1,300, and very simple install really. The next thing we've added here, probably one of the biggest, most expensive adds, has been forward facing sonar, and this being the Lowrance Eagle Eye unit. It's powering up right now, but very affordable. So you know, you start getting into forward facing sonar and you're thinking about live scope, and that can get you several $1,000s in. Normally off the shelf at Bass Pro, this is going to be right at $900, but if you're a club member, as I am, they were running on sale for $799. And if you're a member of the military or a first responder, as I am, you get a 10% discount. So out the door, this thing ended up costing me about $715, something like that. And that's a pretty inexpensive way to get into the forward facing sonar game, because you can literally spend thousands. Everything's included in this. It comes with the transducer, the head unit. Now this little bracket right here that we got set up, this is something separate I'll talk to you about in just a second, but the forward facing sonar, and it runs over here off its own transducer pole. This pole sits in this bracket. We'll talk about that bracket in just a moment. While we're up here, previously the previous owner had some spotlights wired in on the front, and I really didn't have a need for that, since I don't really fish much at all at night, and if I do, I'll just bring a battery powered one. But we used the pre-wired, we used the wire that was already there, and decided that I would wire in this little cigarette lighter adapter up here. We had this laying around, or Pilo had it laying around, and all the time needing to charge cameras or some kind of equipment, maybe even my phone, will now have the ability to do it right up front here while I'm fishing. And you can find these little things on Amazon, or you know, several different places, maybe even auto parts stores. And really, I mean, it's just two wires, a hot and a negative, and you bolt it on and go. So one of the next things I want to show you is probably one of my favorite things that we added to this boat, and it wasn't necessarily a boat deal. I knew I needed some kind of a bracket for my head unit up front. Previous owner had like a galvanized pipe, and you had to screw it into the front of the boat, and it just kind of became a pain when you're first getting to your first spot of the day to get set up, or if you were going to move or breaking down. Just, it was a lot, and I wanted something that would be quick. And so I started looking at fish finder mounts, and man, they're proud of them. And I'm not about just spending money on something because somebody says it's for fishing. So I got looking on Amazon, and I was kind of looking at TV mounts, and I found this ceiling TV mount, and I got thinking, I can hang this thing, or instead of hanging it, I could stand it up, and it's going to work perfect. And here it is on Amazon, and it was really easy to put it together. And then here's what it looks like when it's done. Now, the reason that I think this is so cool is because when it's set up, it's supposed to have two bolts there, and it keeps it, you know, your TV hanging in place on the ceiling. Well, for quick deployment, stowing, moving around when you're going spot to spot, running around the lake. Now, I'm doing this one-handed, so bear with me here. It's not usually this hard. We pull the pin, we can fold it down, we can put our pin back in place to kind of keep that, and then we're gone. Simple process. So one reason why I like this so much is because when we get to our spot and we get ready to get set up, I've dropped the trolling motor in the water. One quick pull of the pin, I fold my deal up in place, put my pin back, I lock it, and I'm ready to go. It's got a little play in there. I think I need a little bit bigger pin, but still, it worked out perfect. And as you can see, it's adjustable right here. There's more holes here, so I can adjust the height. I've actually kind of got it on the middle setting right now. I can make it a little bit lower, you know, and additionally I could fold this thing forward and pin it in place. There's several places on this bracket you can see there to be able to pin that. So you know, for whatever reason, if you wanted this thing leaning out further or whatever, you wanted it higher or lower on that stand, a lot of adjustments that you can do. So the Subtech ceiling mount bracket, I've used this a couple times already, and man, it's been pretty awesome. Now the next thing I'll talk to you about is this transducer pole bracket that I've got right here. Now that's not actually what it is. Some of you may have seen this on other videos, so this is not my idea. I don't want to take credit for something that wasn't my brainchild, but this is actually a bicycle mount made by Rock Bros or Rock Brothers, and just ordered it off Amazon. I saw it on another video where they used it for the same application, and when I went to Amazon and looked in the reviews, the first couple of pictures, they were doing the same exact thing. So this is kind of a popular deal, and it's so popular because it works great. What this does is hold your transducer pole that goes down in the water, and this is a special build. I'll do a video on that, and that was another kind of thing that I learned off of YouTube, but I kind of put my own spin on it, and so far it's worked out really good. But this is a Rock Bro bicycle mount, and I mean, this thing's beefy. It really is. Like, it's probably the Subtech ceiling mount was a good idea, but this is like probably the most quality thing I've ever bought on Amazon, because I thought I was going to get some little Chinese piece of crap, and when it came, I'm like, man, this thing is beefy. It's stout, like, and so this thing will adjust in and out. You can rotate, you can bring this up and down. So many adjustments on this. If you need a live scope pole, transducer pole bracket, this right here, this Rock Bros bicycle mount, I highly suggest. Visually, one of the biggest changes that you've probably seen from our video when we're backing it in, or maybe pictures that we had, is the color of the carpet. Chris and I decided that we were going to replace the carpet on the boat. It was pretty wore out, the old blue carpet. We kept some of it. Actually, I kind of like the two-tone look of it, and what was down inside the boat here was still in good shape. Wasn't really that wore out. It's a little dirty. We've been walking and working in it, but so we kept that. We put down new carpet. We got it from Camping World, and it's made by Overtons. It's a 20-ounce marine carpet, and I was really proud of the way that it turned out. Neither one of us had ever done carpet before. Honestly, it wasn't that hard. The corners was probably the hardest part, and Chris kind of figured those out. You can see he did a pretty good job. Not bad for a couple old boys. And you know, the carpet glue, it's a little messy, but if you just take your time, get you a box of rubber gloves, nitrile gloves, you can do it. And I mean, it ended up spanning a 2-day stretch there, but it was only because we kind of glued the mass surfaces, or the big surfaces, and then we just let it set and cure overnight, and when we come back the next day, then we folded the edges and did the corners. So it could have been done in a half a day, honestly, but we were just trying to make sure that the big surfaces, the big flat areas, got as much adhesion as possible, and we had a little time to work because we had a pretty nasty little stretch of weather with rain and wind and everything. So we didn't want to be out on the water, so we just took our time with the carpet, and it turned out absolutely great. Now, as we move back through the boat, the next thing that we changed, we didn't add, but we just changed, was some of our head units. As I bought the Lowrance Eagle Eye and added it to the front of the boat so we could have forward-facing sonar, we took the unit that was already up there and moved it to the back. So now we've got double matching Garmin units. Well, not matching, but they're both Garmin units. So I'll be able to run a map off of one, and maybe down scan on one, or side scan and down scan on one. But a couple different head units here. It was a fairly simple process, just kind of pulling the wires back here, trimming them up. We bought this little swivel arm bracket here. Man, you can find those anywhere, at any sporting goods stores, Walmart, buy them on Amazon. They're going to be less than 20 bucks, but it allows the screen to move over and back. And so we got two screens right here at the driver's console area, so we can, you know, not only see where we're going, but be able to scan left, right, up and down as we go through. Now, another big change for us, just kind of cosmetically, but also a little bit of a mechanical purpose, was we bought a new switch plate here. Got this from alot.com. I saw a guy on another video had changed one out similar, and I decided to look and see. So we had a 6 switch panel here prior, and honestly they had like the front nav light separate from the back nav light, and they had like 2 accessory switches and just a couple extra switches. I kind of thought I didn't know when I would ever want to run the front nav light and not the back, so we put them both on one switch. Got the bilge, the live well, and then an accessory switch here. And then right here we got a couple of different charger ports, so a little bit of cigarette lighter plug obviously for power, and then we got USB. So that's why I've got my USB cord sitting up here kind of looped around my monitors to be able to plug it in there. And as plugging in, I got me a little JBL Bluetooth speaker. I usually set up here on the dash or maybe between the screens. I like to listen to a little music, especially as the fishing's a little slow. And in all seriousness, we used to have a radio right here. It was for, you know, a vehicle radio mobile unit, and there were speakers around the boat. Not only was it just tying up precious room around the boat where you could be stepping or you know, using cargo space or whatnot, the wiring was always an issue. There was always a wire coming loose, or the head unit was hard to see because it was facing straight up, and with the sunlight sometimes it's hard to tell if it was on. Why take a chance on running my battery down in my boat just listening to Alan Jackson when I got some about a blue million of these Bluetooth speakers laying around. Another big change, kind of cosmetically but mechanical purpose, was the steering wheel. The steering wheel that was here before starting to delaminate a little bit on the bottom, and I just didn't like the look of it, so decided to see what was out there. Now these things can get pricey, but I found this one on Amazon for right around $45, and I'll tell you, I was kind of afraid what I was going to be getting. I thought this thing might be, you know, lightweight piece of crap made. No, this thing is solid. Like, you could kill somebody with this thing. You could knock them out. Pulled the old one off, put the new one on, one single bolt and an impact, and the whole swap took about 15 seconds. So I'd never changed the steering wheel before, didn't know how complicated that was going to be, but that was a really easy fix. You can see this kind of console area here. It looks pretty good for being a 30-year-old boat. The console on it, it was a little bit faded yesterday. I was watching some videos, went to the store and checked out, and I got some of the Mother's brand plastic renew, where you just kind of wipe it on. It's not greasy like Armor All or WD-40 or anything. I wiped it in, you let it sit for, it says a few minutes. I think I let it sit for about 15, and I wiped off any of the excess. And I mean, just other than looks like maybe some overspray or something up here, a couple white speckles from, I guess, the previous owner or something, but the rest of the plastic looks brand new. It really turned out good. You know, this may fade over time, I'm not sure, but it took me about 30 seconds to put on, so you know, if I got to put it on every few months or something, that's really not that big of a deal. New boat seats from Bass Pro Shops. These were, I think they're on sale right now for club members for like $99, and I don't remember if they were when I bought them, but here's the regular price of them, and they're very comfortable seats. Now, one modification that we did have to do, and you can kind of see right there on that hinge, is there's 2 holes. So when we got those, it was in the bottom one with a pop rivet, and that was making it stop more at a 90-degree angle. So we just drilled out the pop rivet, went to the hole that was already there above it with a little bolt. It's got a nut on the back side, and we could also use a pop rivet, but it allowed to go back a few degrees, and you can kind of see now it's got a pretty good lean, which makes for a little bit more comfortable ride rather than 90 degrees sitting up. But as far as being like pretty stout, they're good. We've already got them a little dirty from our dirty hands we've been working around this boat. This has been a great addition. I think it really helped with overall cosmetically making the boat look a little more modern, and you know, it just gives the overall better look and feel. Now when we bought the boat, it had the original seats. I think they had been redone, reupholstered, but it was still the original seats on the original brackets, and that's also including the fishing seats. You can see here in this picture that, I mean, they were in good condition, but they just, I don't know, they just had an old feel to them, old-fashioned feel, and we decided to change those. So not just the riding seats, the driving seats, but also the fishing seats. These are the Millennium Marine B100 seats. We've had those on our plastic boats before, and actually I think we fished a couple times out of this boat with the green ones from our other seat. But these are brand new. Just bought these at Bass Pro like a week ago, I think. And they got that blue and gray, and they match everything else on the boat really well. If you've never sat in a Millennium Marine seat before, they're very comfortable. They're solid. They really are solid unit, and the mesh will keep you cool in the summer, and honestly it can be a little cool in the winter because there's nothing blocking that wind. But I just get a little foam seat pad and throw there, and it just kind of keeps your bum warm. But you know, if you're dressed in layers, you usually don't feel it anyways. But Millennium Marine seats have been a huge upgrade to our fishing in every boat that we've had. Well folks, that's it for the boat tour. I hope that you've enjoyed this, whether you're just watching it to be entertained. I hope that you can at least appreciate the hard work that went into it. If you're a fisherman, I hope that you saw an idea here, from the ceiling TV bracket mount being flipped upside down for a head unit bracket, to the Rock Brothers bicycle mount used for transducer pole bracket. I hope that you was able to learn something or take something away. And if you see something that, you know, you're like, hey, you need to try this, it's worked on my boat or whatnot, drop it in the comments below. I'm always willing to try a good idea. So thank y'all for following along, and thank y'all for all the love, from the subscribers to the likes to channel's been really popular as we took a break at the end of last year for hot weather and family events and traveling and vacation and work and yada yada yada. It was kind of cool that the channel kind of kept going and kind of kept getting views, so that was really neat. We got a lot of stuff coming up here in the next few months. I think I've got about 4 or 5 videos already ready to drop, and that's really not even including fishing. So they'll be dropping here and there randomly, so stay tuned to the channel. Appreciate y'all.
I'm a